Hello and welcome back to the Ufilms Oscars Rundown. Today we will be presenting to you our top 10 shots from 2017. My name is Andrew Coates and this is Aaron Bootland, and I'm going to hand over to him now to tell you all about today's programme.
Thank you, Andrew. Last year was a great year for film, wasn't it? And one area where these films stood out from previous years was the cinematography on show. We had some stunning visuals last year, but it's not always about the aesthetic value. Many of these shots were symbolic, made the viewer think, made them feel. And that's what makes these following 10 shots stand out above the rest, and I'd say many of the visuals will be remembered for years to come.
I think it goes without saying that there is going to be spoilers in this video, so watch out. And without further ado, let's begin the countdown.
At number 10, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The climax of the film is the funeral of Yondu, and this shot, while also visually very nice, homages the ending of Empire Strikes Back, which fits in with the 80s retro style the movie's going for. And I just think it's a nice throwback to an iconic shot in movie history.
Yeah, I think it works because Guardians of the Galaxy feels like the Star Wars of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this shot does feel like the director is acknowledging the similarities, but also the legacy and the influence that the original Star Wars trilogy has had. At number 9, another ending with Logan. An emotional finale with Logan, or Wolverine, dying in the final battle. Logan was old, the X-Men were all gone in this film, but he'd helped these new mutants to escape for how long, we don't know. But for a guy who kept himself to himself, to be buried almost with honour makes it quite emotional, and the final arranging of the sticks to make the X sign, it is the cherry on the top of what was a fantastic scene and a fantastic film.
Yeah, I feel that shot is going to be considered iconic in the years to come. Number 8 is Wonder Woman. The first bona fide great film from the DC Extended Universe broke a lot of ground and features many scenes that will be iconic in future, but none more so than the No Man's Land scene. It shows the compassion and strength of Diana. She meets the German warfare head on and inspires the other soldiers to fight, but at the heart of it is Diana, and to be fair, it's just an epic scene. I think it's one of those scenes that we'll be talking about for years to come.
At number 7 we have It. The second adaptation of the Stephen King novel has been credited with breathing new life into the horror genre. In a year with other more mediocre horrors such as Life and Alien Covenant, It stood up above the rest. The slideshow scene in particular is quite chilling, and in some parts cheesy because of the jump scare. I do think it works well though.
It does work very well, and I think it's another of those scenes that will be talked about for years to come. And at number 6 we've got War for the Planet of the Apes. We're back to another homage now. The ending of the original Planet of the Apes back in 1968 famously ends with the head of the Statue of Liberty stranded on the beach. While this scene in War for the Planet of the Apes is quite different in context, there is no denying the similarities in the shots. The colour tone and lighting of War for the Planet of the Apes is beautiful and striking, and the film in general is well worth a watch.
So that's our first 5 shots, and you must be thinking, how are we going to top these?
Well, don't worry, because you ain't seen nothing yet. The best is still definitely to come.
Some of the visuals you will see have all but defined their films, so without further ado, let's go on to the second part of our countdown.
At number 5, Get Out, a horror comedy about the disparity between different races in the upper class. During a scene about hypnosis, where the main character is hypnotised, there's a shot where they fall backwards and continue through the floor, ending up in the sunken place, a dark, empty world wherein they float and are trapped.
Yes, and this shot is fantastic in the scene where Chris is looking back up at Missy, the woman who trapped him there, shouting and jumping trying to get back into the real world. The emptiness of the scene really adds to the feeling of despair one would get from being in a situation like this, and the way Chris tries to get back shows the terror he feels.
Definitely, and I believe that this scene will be remembered for a long time to come.
And coming in at number 4 is
Baby Driver, a film about a driving baby.
No, Andrew, that's not what the film is about. It's the criminal one.
Alright, I see. Yes, this film is about a criminal getaway driver who goes by the name of Baby. The scene we chose sees Baby skidding to a halt in a parking lot, right in front of the camera. The impressive thing about this shot is that it was all done practically, meaning there were no special effects in the scene, so Ansel Elgort actually drives the car for the shot.
Yes, and this could mean that we will see more practically done shots in the future thanks to the success of Baby Driver, hopefully. And up at number 3 we have
The Shape of Water, the newest film by Guillermo del Toro.
This shot takes place entirely underwater and sees the main characters embracing each other with love. The main point of attraction for this scene is that it is quite a wide shot and see the two characters lit from behind in a blue-green light, making them the only visible thing in the entire shot.
Truly, this deserves to be in the top 3 for the simplicity and elegance from such an empty shot.
Definitely. And at number 2 we've got...
Blade Runner 2049, with the scene of Joy and Kay talking on the rooftop. Blade Runner is a futuristic series set in a dystopian world of bright lights and neon. The scene perfectly shows both those things by showing us a giant hologram named Joy emblazoned in a bright blue and pink light.
Yes, and showing how small Kay is compared to her is a great contrast too, showing how small he is in the bigger picture the film is trying to paint.
And taking the top spot is...
Star Wars The Last Jedi, specifically Holdo's suicide. Sounds quite morbid now actually.
Holdo is introduced into the film to take over command after Leia is injured and hatches a plan to take out the enemy all at once.
She decides to turn her spaceship around and fly through the enemy at light speed, blasting straight through them and destroying all their ships and her own in the process.
For this scene, director Ryan Johnson actually took out the sound while the ships are being destroyed, further emphasising the weight of Holdo's actions by cutting everything else out.
The choice to remove the sound and only use black and white colours for this sequence easily makes this our number 1 shot of the entire year, and will be quite hard act to follow in the future.
Thanks so much for tuning in to our Oscars Rundown for the best visuals of 2017.
Yeah, so we hope you all tune tomorrow for the top best picture winners with Amy.